Hello and welcome to the LNL podcast. I can't wait to watch the second series because I'm guessing they're venturing out into the
Uh, do you want me to answer that?
Well, I guess it ended with them about to go out, so I sort of know.
Well,
And I have seen the last 5 minutes of the second series.
I can't exactly remember what happens in the second book, which is why I'm rereading it, and I couldn't watch the entire first series. I watched like the first three episodes, and then I watched the second and the third episode with my mum, but I didn't want to. But she couldn't watch one of them, and I was really annoyed. And then I went to watch it, and I was so glad because it was the episode where there's Peter Baelish, Littlefinger, with them two women for about 20 minutes when he's telling them what to do to each other.
Yeah.
And I was so glad that my mum didn't watch it with me. But yeah, I like that episode. Well, no. So I like that book, the second book, but I'm going back over it because really in my head I can only properly remember the last two books because they're so well. Yeah, they're quite long and loads of stuff happens. Oh my god, the end of the fifth book.
How many
Oh,
books are there?
there are five right now, and there are two more coming out. So George R. Martin is hoping that he will get the books done by the time, so the series doesn't catch up with him, because then there would have to be a massive hiatus. But do you know what the worst thing was? Hold on, I just want to get this fact right. The worst thing is the last book, the first book came out in 1996. A Game of Thrones came out in 1996. So how long ago is that? How many years ago is that?
Quite a few. Yeah,
But 67,
15 years or so.
16 years ago. So, yeah. See, this is one thing that I hate the fact I've caught up. A Game of Thrones came out in 1996. A Clash of Kings, the next book, came out in 1998. A Storm of Swords, once the page loads, A Storm of Swords came out in 2000. So 1998, 2000.
Okay.
1998, 1999, 2000. A Feast for Crows, the fourth book, came out in 2005. And now A Feast for Crows, A Dance with Dragons, which is the fifth book, the last one right now, starts right after A Feast for Crows finishes. So you can imagine, and the thing that a lot of people hated about A Feast for Crows was because of that massive gap. About two characters in A Feast for Crows were characters who were in A Game of Thrones. They introduced loads of new characters, or the other ones die. This is not a spoiler or anything, but a lot of people in this book die. Unbelievable amount, actually. So don't attach yourself to anyone. The ones who you think will die will live. And I think the ones who you think will live will die.
Okay.
I'll tell you what, but the ones you think will die will live. So even I think at the end of where I am now, there are three characters that I can be certain are alive who are in the first book. Three. What I mean is, I can be certain of. I know there must be others because you would have heard if they had died, but they weren't in that book. But in A Feast for Crows, a lot of people were really annoyed because, as I say, there were only two characters who were in the other. Yeah, there are only two characters who were in the other books, and a lot of people's favorite characters weren't in the book, so they were sorry, pardon me. They were annoyed that they waited for that long. And so remember, A Dance for Dragons starts exactly from when A Feast for Crows ends. Feast for Crows came out in 2005. A Dance for Dragons came out in 2011. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 7 years. Two books that one starts exactly after the other one finishes. It's so annoying. Like, there's no time gap between them.
Well, at least it meant he took his time with it, so he didn't get like a rushed.
Yeah, yeah. Well, he said he finished a lot of it and then he didn't like it, so he went over it again or something like that. But a lot of people have wrote into us to hurry up because it's quite old and they don't want him to die. Yeah, yeah. Both of the books run at the same time, but A Dance with Dragons is longer. So that, for instance, there's a scene on the wall done from someone's point of view. And when they're driving away in a carriage, they go away. And then in the Dance with Dragons, so that's in a Feast for Crows. And then in the Dance with Dragons, it's from the other person's point of view as the person's going away in the carriage. But I think that's the only overlap. And then Dance with Dragons is longer. So there's a character in in a Feast for Crows, and something happens to them. And then later on, they appear in A Dance with Dragons.
Okay.
I want to say who that character is, but I can't. Obviously. But yeah.
Has he said, Liam Orpho, has he said that he's going to try and get them done before?
Yeah. Well, no.
Does that mean he's going to rush?
He said he's just going to leave them. No, he said in the end they'll be done when they're done.
Yeah.
And the books have got they could really make 2 books out of most of the series. So there is a lot that they could do, and I think that by the time they get up to the 5th book, the 6th book would be out.
Yeah.
And they're supposed to be both over 1,000. The 6th and the 7th book are supposed to be over 1,000 manuscript pages big. I think a manuscript is about that big. like A4 or something. So over 1,000 A4.
Oh.
Yeah, I know.
It's like, I guess, because shows tend to go through things a lot quicker, though, don't they? So, I don't know how fast The Walking Dead is getting through their comic.
Well, you say that. I've read the first Walking Dead comic. From the, you know how short the comics are? They're like...
Well, I haven't actually seen them. So
I think the first comic is about 30 pages. Okay. Maybe 15. On average, comics are around 20 pages.
Oh, I didn't know whether because it's like a graphic novel thing. I didn't know whether it was bigger or more.
Each comic is quite thin. It's like in the Bleach. Each comic is about 23 pages, and each anime, so each episode of it, covers about 5 comics.
Oh, okay.
So with The Walking Dead, from the moment where, the bit where where Rick gets shot,
yeah,
and appears in hospital and wakes up from hospital, that happens over a span of 2 pages. Get all the scene where he gets shot so driving along, the guy comes up, gets shot, wakes up in a hospital bed, that's 1 page. Gets up in the hospital bed, goes, finds the bike, sees that lady crawled on the floor, that's another page. That's how quick the comic goes. Gets hit in the head by that man, that's like the 4th page of the comic. It goes so quickly.
Oh, I always assumed that comics sort of take
yes, there'll be so much detail. There's hardly any detail. I think I've got it on here. I'll show you. So that's the opening to The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
That's the first comic page. That's the second one.
It's one big picture.
That's the third one. So it's getting up from the thing. The 4th sees the zombie in the elevator.
You'd pretty quickly read this comic, wouldn't you?
Well, there are 100, so it'll take a while to read. Yeah. The 5th, 6th, 7th, the 8th, the 9th, 10th page is the bicycle one.
Oh yeah.
The 11th, 12th, 13th is when we get hit over the head. Or the 14th even.
He's sort of halfway through the comic then.
Yeah, so 14, and then he wakes up, 15, 16. So this is like most of the first episode. That's it. That's the entire first episode. Oh, no, wait, hold on. Sorry, I was wrong. The first episode is 25 long. That all happens in this one. He leaves in a police car. They get to the police station, and he leaves in a police car. And then he goes back to the bicycle girl, and he stands over her and shoots her in the face.
Oh, lovely.
And that's it. That's the end of the first comic, and then the second one starts.
Yeah.
So you would think that it's got more detail in it. It hasn't.
So I guess the show must be quite into it then. I'm
Mm.
sure we're at the halfway point of the third series at the moment.
Yeah, yeah. Did he get out? I watched. I watched the halfway bit with my friend. Could not stop laughing at the bit where that man's like, it's like Carol's like, gotta leave her alone. He's like, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? Leave her alone. He's like, I'm sorry. It's been so long since I've been around a girl. You know, the thingies with that girl's with Glenn. You're you know what? So he's a what? You know, you're a yeah. I'm rather lesbian. Oh, oh. So you wanna no? But oh shit! But this isn't a spoiler because it hasn't happened. I don't know if it happens. But me and my friend Jamie saw it behind the scenes, and it showed there's just this picture of what's his name, the like hunter guy,
Darren? No.
Daryl. Yeah,
Daryl.
there's a picture of get Daryl with his guts hanging out of him. I know.
I can't. I don't know whether they. I didn't think they'd ever get rid of him.
But then there's another picture of him back with the rest of the group. But there's a picture with him with his guts out around where he currently is with Merle. So very conflicting. Unless he's got a twin. But yeah. Yeah, you're trying to think of a way that could work. Unless he gets his guts pushed back in.
Yeah, but I guess and they don't really have any supplies, do they? Unless they find a medical place in the prison or.
Yeah. Oh god. So there's just a picture of Herschel with half of his leg off. Oh crap.
Well, have you not seen that scene?
No, I haven't seen that episode. Apparently, Amy was a shocking death. The next most shocking death was some guy I don't even know, Dr. Edwin Jenner. Oh yeah, that guy.
What the scientist in the last
Yeah,
episode of the first series?
yeah. The next one was Randall. I can't remember him.
Randall.
Oh, the guy was shot down at the bar. Apparently, he
Why
went.
are these shocking deaths? Because of the way they died, or
They didn't think they would die.
oh,
Apparently, he went to school with Maggie. Sophia was a shocking death. Shane was a shocking death, and was a glad death for me. Dale was a shocking death. I didn't expect that.
okay. Well, apparently, I didn't think Shane would have been shocking to some people because apparently he wasn't in it for long in the comic at all.
Mm. And Glenn isn't in it at all, so they can do what they want with him. No, no, sorry, Glenn is, but Dale isn't. I think Glenn is dead in the comics.
Is he? But he lasted a while, didn't?
He was killed by the governor. He got his brains bashed open
Oh,
with a bat while Maggie was forced to watch. T-Dog. One line is when he died.
I didn't mind T-Dog except the fact that he didn't get any talking parts. He sort of had a bit of a role in the first series, and then after that, he sort of just was in the background. Thank you for listening to the LNL podcast.